Yo, what's up?
What's up, indeed?
I don't know why I entered with that energy. I feel like every time despite how long we've been doing this, which is nearly 9 years, I feel like how the energy I enter an episode with is still an unsolved problem. Sometimes I'll have it like locked in all day what I want to say as soon as we start it, and I'll be like, oh, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And sometimes I'll just start recording and stare blankly at the monitor for a full 30 seconds. Even more rarely, you'll say something. Vivian actually isn't here today. That's a laugh track I played remotely. It's very difficult, but I've got Vivian set up like a Miku, like a Vocaloid thing, so I can do every single syllable and intonation individually.
They're gonna believe you. That's the thing you can do nowadays.
Our group chat already believes that you don't exist because you speak in groups so infrequently. This isn't just her. Like, this is her at a heightened state of personality. When she doesn't have to be recorded, she's even less talkative.
I post memes. That counts as talking.
It doesn't. Not when there's a microphone on. Well, I don't envy either of your workloads. It is a mess in here.
It's a lot of blood, that's for sure. I'm impressed you haven't gotten nauseous, miss.
I'd be right at home here if you weren't all poking your noses around.
Shoot, I just remembered. I'll never hear the end of it if I don't check in with my partner after saying I would. You too good to keep going if I step out to make a call? A call? Is your partner your mom? And is your mom blind? Send a text. Thanks for your understanding.
You know what, London? Nah, you do you, man. You got this.
Maybe he was the one with the weak stomach. You be sure to let me know if you're feeling faint.
I can keep going. We're nearly finished anyway.
I'd stick to the arcs if I were you.
Oh?
Nothing behind that door that's better seen in person.
You've been such a gracious host up until this point, Miss Hahn. Why the cold feet now?
It's ugly in there.
Uglier than this?
Different kind of ugly, then?
It's all in the eye of the beholder.
There's beholders here.
Beholders are actually copyrighted by Wizards of the Coast, I think. I don't think we can actually use beholders as like a generic fantasy enemy. Is that true or am I making that up?
I feel like that is, but I forget.
It's like the one kind of fantasy enemy where I'm like, oh, really? Fuck. Okay. Well, fucking hell. All the other ones they have are just like, well, whatever.
I warned you.
So this is our first time actually getting... Okay, so this... I don't think before we saw this, we had this space to kind of like spatially arrange where everything was. We knew there was the sink with the hammer in, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, in case they were looks maxing. And then there we knew the... What's up? And then we knew there was like the chain. I didn't see the shower heads above the rack. Or whatever Are those shower heads?
I don't know. They could be.
Because it looks like there's also like tiny sinks of some kind over here. Interesting. And then, yeah. Don't worry. I can stomach it just fine. So long as I can understand it. Why did Creek's pod torture my client?
I don't know that they did.
Sosuke told me they electrocuted him, Han.
They probably just grounded him. Low-grade currents applied every few minutes stops most mods from rebooting.
Oh, that's interesting, actually. Okay.
So, no SOS pings, no adrenaline bursts pulled out of his ass.
And the pliers, hammers, and syringes, what purpose did they serve? They could have just killed Sosuke when they failed to nab Makoto. Instead, they dragged him down here. Why? To try to get info on Makoto's itinerary? Get enough intel to make another run at him? That's actually a very good question. Did we talk about that already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
wait, sorry. I was saying, it's a very good question.
Oh, okay.
assume that whatever I say is about 5 seconds behind when it happens.
Right.
It's been a week.
I feel like we maybe talked about that in a couple episodes, when we originally saw that they nabbed not the person they were looking for. But it is a good point that they kept him alive, so clearly they thought they were going to get something out of him. Trying to make another run at Makoto seems like a big grasp. Maybe use him as a bargaining chip. They were clearly torturing him, but, like, to what end? Legit, there's a version of this where they caught him and they're like, fuck it, let's just burn off steam on this guy. Then again, in the torture scene, they did say specifically, don't fuck with his head. Right? Do you remember that from the intro?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm guessing, I think it's safe to say that they wanted information out of him, or thought they could get something. Whether or not that'd be a successful venture is a different point. If there are any answers for me in here, I'll need a grout scraper to find them. All right. Okay, so there is so this is just a modified okay, yeah. A modified bathroom. So okay, that is probably just a shower thingy.
Not so much modified even.
Well, I don't know. Most places don't have a double-sided shower. One for him and her. Like that feels unique. Well, let's go over all the bits and bops, shall we? It's water. Cold enough that condensation's on the outside of the bucket. Is that water for sponge baths?
Just a simple way to keep a guest from dozing off. Temperature shock makes caffeine look like a sleep aid.
Still cold? It's been most of a day. Wouldn't it be around room temperature now?
Yeah.
This coming after you claim you don't know if Sosuke was tortured. You know what the other bucket's for, then?
I know you said you've got a weak sense of smell, but do you really need a hint here?
Okay, you know what? As someone who actually does have a weak sense of smell, sometimes yes. You can vouch for me on this. Sometimes I legit just don't smell something. But then this last bucket here is...
What is that? Trash?
Cloth and rope. Bindings.
Or bandages. See, they were nursing him back to health.
You don't have to play defense for them. I understand which side you're on, and you don't need to go this hard in the paint. You're embarrassing yourself at this point. I'll run your theory past Sosuke next chance I get. This must be what's left of what they were keeping him tied up with.
They would have had to use something, yeah. This door doesn't even lock.
And not after I remove the bat, barring it from the outside. So he was brought here, tied up, questioned. Then he breaks out, bursts into the next room, cuts up 2 of his captors, and blows the other 2 away. And that's what you think happened?
That's what it looks like.
And then what? Chopin runs in and turns his back on a violent criminal?
Don't strain yourself trying to make it sound improbable. Cops are dumb. If the Hound crouched in a corner, he'd have his chance soon enough. Hell, he probably just played dead. Walking into that scene out there, you think some patrol officer would go around checking pulses?
Okay, you know what? That is actually a very reasonable... I'm not saying... Obviously, she's not... I don't think she's right about what happened. But that is also a... That's a version of events that doesn't strain credulity.
Yeah.
Right? That is a reasonable way to frame it. And, like, it does mean Morgan's got more work to do. Why would my client go to all that trouble just to get the jump on an officer? Why not just run away? Hell, why not ask him for medical treatment?
Because he was standing in the middle of the 4 men he'd just killed?
Ugh, I know Sosuke had no logical reason to attack Chopin. But so what? Even Sosuke himself says he would have been acting on instinct. Would instinct tell him that Chopin was in between him and his escape? I don't think so. He was in the middle of the fucking room. You couldn't run around him. Hell, you could have gone for the window. I don't think Chopin was in the middle of him and escape, if that's the angle we're taking. Has all this blood been tested, Miss Han?
Enough of it has. Besides Sosuke, who else would it belong to?
That's a bit lazy, but it's not as if there's more here than the last time I visited. Sosuke really did lose a lot of blood. By the time he stumbled out of here, a stiff breeze should have been enough to knock him over. That's a good point. Maybe we can say he... Is he really such a badass that he still managed to take out a police officer before he'd even notice? They're gonna argue, well, he could have one of those modded implants that helps, like the guy that we shot had, give you like the fucking 4 minutes before death thing. And then we can argue, no, but he was grounded. So he probably didn't, his mods wouldn't have been able on. Just running the future arguments in my head already. It's not as if I feel nothing looking at someone else's handiwork, the product of their violence. But it's like an artificial sweetener. No complaints for that first instant. And then the aftertaste comes. Empty calories. I'll just be hungry again later. Faster. Best to stay disciplined. I wonder if there's anyone whose violence Morgan does actually appreciate, aside from her. I mean, aside from obviously her own, but like... kind of wonder if she's ever walked in somewhere and been like, damn, did a great job in here.
Wow, cool violence.
Hypodermic needles. Probably not packing anything healthy. Sosuke better hope they were at least sanitized. I'm not sure Sarah can treat an infection with gauze and rubbing alcohol alone. But those needles there. The design of these needles seems a little odd.
Well, someone will tell you sooner or later, so... they're projectiles. Load them into a gun and fire away.
Sosuke was captured by men wielding needle guns. Does Sayana Security have any peacekeeping tools they'd like to disclose as having recently gone missing?
You're cursing up the wrong pipe. Creek could find tools all on his own, and we're not that kind of operation.
An operation where the right hand doesn't know what the left is doing?
More like the right hand's just been washed, so if you have to handle some garbage...
Sayana is that legitimate? Why aren't all the Blue Bloods working legal jobs then?
Not enough positions available. You gotta earn like hell to be considered for a job on this side of the fence.
Creek and his pod weren't bringing in that kind of money.
They liked Creek's pod where it was.
That's the impression I got, right? And I think that's also what Creek said. Right. Creek said any pronouns, and we've been using he mostly, so we're going to use she for Creek this episode. So Creek was like... that Creek did say any pronouns, right?
I think that was Creek, yeah.
Pronoun... any. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so... she said before she died that, like, she had been trying to, like, break through that ceiling, but had kind of felt, like, stymied.
Yep.
And I think that's the impression I got, was that it's like, that she was very effective at specifically the place where she was.
Mm-hmm.
And that, despite her kind of having ambitions of going higher, there was maybe a reason why they didn't. And maybe her capturing and selling the no mask was kind of like meant to be a stunt, or maybe that's why she and her boys captured Sosuke and still wanted to keep him alive to try to get at Makoto. Maybe she felt like she needed some kind of win big enough to not be ignorable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Does that sound about right?
Could be.
Something that says, no, I don't care how good you think I am here, like, you have to promote me. And who is they?
Upper management. I don't remember Creek's voice.
It's alright, she's dead.
That mask is a death sentence crafted specifically for one very special customer. I'm just the one given the honor of hanging on to it until...
And did upper management like Creek?
I'm just a humble site manager, miss. I wouldn't know.
Sure. So do all these needles contain anesthetics?
No, there's also stimulants and barbitocene.
And don't worry about all the evidence and stuff. We'll go over it after the scene. We're not gonna... Actually, you know what? Sometimes it reveals stuff mid-scene if we look at it. So never mind. We're doing that right now. Let's look at the evidence. Needles. Projectile hypodermic needles recovered from the room where Sosuke was being held. The contents within each match the non-lethal anesthetics found in Sosuke's bloodstream at the time of his arrest, though other needles were found containing stimulants and drugs commonly marketed as truth serums. So wait, that stuff was still in his system when he was arrested? I don't know how long that takes to flush out, but, like, he'd been in there for a while.
It depends on the compound.
Yeah, I guess. Cut bindings. Hardy cloth bindings found inside the room where Sosuke was held, stiff with dried blood and clearly cut with something sharp. That's another good thing, is, like, he was clearly given a way out.
Hmm.
Or at least managed to find a way out. that doesn't speak to... It doesn't speak to... I wonder if we could spin that like someone freed him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I mean, obviously we know what happened. Morgan left him a knife and let him get to work, but... I mean, there's got to be a different way we can spin that, right? Barbitocene. Originally developed as a hypnotic sleep aid for drug for active duty military personnel, barbitocene is currently prescribed Barbitocene is currently prescribed, though rarely, as an anti-anxiety and anti-seizure medication, often depicted in popular culture and some drug manufacturers' promotional materials as a truth serum. Barbitocene has never been shown to function as such in a controlled setting. When compared against a sampling of liquors ranging from 40 to 80 proof, barbitocene resulted in truthful confessions only 0.2% more often, and no subjects admitted to providing information that they were not already comfortable with divulging. Users also frequently search for how to tell if someone is cheating, where to buy a lie detector, see who has me muted on social media. Do you think anyone's noticed that I'm playing with the Morgan charm whenever I'm...
I hope so.
Like the truth serum?
You can get sued for selling it as such. It makes you talk, doesn't make what you say the truth.
So they wanted Sosuke talking, but what did they ask him?
If your client can't remember or isn't willing to recall, there's really no one else alive who would know, yeah?
I'm getting a headache, but it's not from anything sensory. I should know more about this crime scene than anyone. Why can't I piece it together? If I can't piece it together, the cops will never trace any of this back to me, right? So why do I feel so ill at ease? Because someone else was here that might be able to.
Yep. Okay, thanks for your patience, ladies. Did I miss anything?
You just busted in here. My gosh.
Nah. Oh. Would you have felt better if you had?
Was London purposely trying to give Han time to like... to like... London! Oh, you wingman, you. Maybe he saw what Han was trying to play and...
Here, ladies, go hang out in the torture bathroom for a few minutes.
He didn't know they were going to go in there.
Time.
He thought they were just going to be in the...
just in the sea of blood corpses room. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. No. I appreciate the wingmanning, London. Obviously, Morgan is only... Morgan only lives for the violence. I don't think... I'm going to head out now, actually. I've got a long day tomorrow.
You're going back by yourself, then? Are you sure? I could get you a ride out of the neighborhood.
I'm sure Miss Han here has already made sure that we'll both get out of here without any trouble. That is her company's area of expertise, isn't it?
Of course. Well, at least let me walk you out.
Have I pointed this out about the art style before? The way that some of the eyelashes bleed into the, is that the sclera of the eye?
Yeah.
Like, it's been there for a while. It's very striking on Hans, but like clearly like those are eyelashes, but the way the sclera bleeds into them is very... It's an interesting decision.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I look at it too hard, I don't know if I like it, but like just kind of looking over it, you're like, oh, that's fucking cool.
It is cool.
Sure. Why not?
Safe travels.
So, Detective, there's something you didn't want to talk about in front of the professionals at Cyanus Security?
Thanks for picking up on that.
Reyes will be upset that you never checked in.
Yeah, right after this I will.
Nice! I don't know if that's what that says. This room. Are we directly underneath the crime scene?
Yep, same fire escape right there.
No, that says voice. I think we can give it a little
noise.
Noise. Same type of window as well. Has this room been scanned into the arcs?
Yeah, but no one found anything noteworthy, except Cyanus being sloppy.
So what were you actually doing when you left Han and I back there?
Something Han said earlier about how no true blue would wish harm on Creek. Her phrasing stood out to me.
Because it implies the existence of false blue bloods?
Because it reminded me of one of the first things I learned in this city. There are no monoliths.
Yep.
Microservice architecture only nowadays.
You sure there are no monoliths? I thought we're about due to find one around, is it Jupiter? Where did they find the first? Was the first one around Jupiter or was the first one around Saturn?
I forgot.
It's been a long time since I read the Space Odyssey novels. But.
We lost Ruby on Rails in the Great Net Crash. Gotta get him in when I can. Gotta get him in when I can.
Listen, I appreciate that you have your own unique perspective to bring to these.
That's a diplomatic way to put it. Thank you.
Wait, what the fuck is that symbol up there in the upper right corner? That's like an actual astrological symbol, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which one is that?
I've seen it in a tattoo.
Lemniscate with 2 bars? Maybe that'll work? Nope, that's giving me the lemniscate of Bernoulli, which is a mathematical thing and not an astrological symbol. Someone in the comments can hit me up on this. I don't know how I'm going to Google that raw.
Oh,
did you not read yours?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ah! Why can't I click backlog? That feels like an oversight.
Meg's Orcas City Hall, there's always factions. And among Blue Bloods, the party lines are especially visible, so I made a call, not to Reyes, and confirmed some things.
Okay. And
I figure I owe you a little hint or two, considering the tone of the last message I delivered.
That message warned me not to broaden the scope of my investigation. Getting hints from you might be self-defeating.
Not these hints, trust me.
All right. So what faction did our pal Creek belong to?
The Young Bloods, opposite end of the compass from the old guard, the conservative Blue Blood leadership.
Makes sense.
All of them older than 70, some of them pushing higher than 90. Onset Creek was too useful for anyone to want dead, but my sources don't agree. Creek talked, said things aloud that others only whispered.
Ooh, okay.
Ambitious, charismatic, up and coming.
Those all feel, yep. And young.
Could easily see him being very unpopular with all the wrong people in Old Guard.
That's interesting info, Detective, but it doesn't exactly flip this case on its head. I already know who killed Creek. The police have already decided it's Sosuke. Learning that he had some occupational hazards will hardly convince the jury otherwise. My client is the one standing accused, and everyone already knows why Blue Bloods and Icarias would want to kill one another.
Do you?
They're rival gangs. They hate each other.
Do you know why?
Huh.
Also, it's the Leviathan cross or brimstone symbol.
The Leviathan... Oh, thank you. The Leviathan cross or brimstone symbol. What is it used for? What does Wikipedia tell you about it?
I'm not finding a Wikipedia article about it.
All right. Well, cool. Thank you for identifying it for me, at least.
I think it is an alchemy thing.
Ooh.
Originally.
Alchemy. Okay.
For sulfur.
For
I don't
sulfur.
know.
To be honest, it is graffiti. It might just be here because it looks cool. But also, this is a narrative with design and purpose and intention behind it. It's not wrong to look at the background graffiti that says voice and the cross of Leviathan.
Mm-hmm.
And try to fit in see if there's anything important about those.
It's the same reason all the Blue Blood leadership is ancient, while all their muscles made up of orphans and delinquents. 30 years ago, the Icaria betrayed their peace with the Blue Bloods, started killing them. And they didn't stop for days. By the end of it, every single member of the leading Blue Blood families under the age of 40 was dead.
Oh, shit. God damn. Well, I guess that explains the very drastic generation gap and enforced and kind of like systematically enforced difference between the young bloods and the old guard, right?
Yep.
Well, I can see how their kids will grow up to hate the Icaria, yeah.
You're not getting it, Tiger. Their kids didn't grow up at all.
If that is the case, how are the blue bloods still around?
For one thing, the Icaria had bigger fish to fry. This was right before the Red Decade. They spent every second of the next 10 years positioning themselves so they could come out the other end as neo-ability. Second, what remained of the Blue Bloods found a new niche to fill, taken in delinquents furious at a country driven off a cliff by adults before they could even get a chance to vote.
Fair enough.
Blue Bloods swelled their ranks to new heights by looking out for the little guys during those years, in exchange for favors down the line. Lastly and most importantly, they survived because they still had hope.
Are you serious?
I am. It's a powerful weapon.
Hope for what?
Hope that the Icaria had missed one, that they'd fled the country. Hope that a promised heir would grow strong and return one day, a triumphant little lord with overflowing riches and overwhelming power.
Wait, now we're getting to religious belief territory. What? That sounds like a fairy tale.
Those endure for a reason.
Alright.
Well, now you know.
Huh. Okay.
A warning to watch where your step isn't exactly worth much if you're fumbling around in the dark.
Fairy tales and warning. I had the wrong register when I started. Fairy tales and warnings. Do people notice that I try to have, like, Morgan's more, full iris inner monologue be a little deeper than her, persona outwards?
I notice.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Fairy tales and warnings.
What's up?
Yeah. Ooh, are we going to get to ask both of these, I wonder? Which do we care more about? Huntsman or the Red Hood? Let's start with Red Hood.
Sure.
Hey, you ever pay any attention to any of this graffiti down here?
Hey, that's another symbol I've seen.
That's just... What's this one?
Yeah.
What is it?
I don't know, but I've seen it.
Noise! Scrawlings about Lobo and the cyberpunk and,
HBK increasingly.
I haven't seen that myself. I was going to say Red Hood.
Why are you asking? You feel a chill down your spine? Except for HBK, that's all old news, ghost stories, and campfire tales.
There are a lot of campsites around here?
Lots of places to start fires. But Red Hood, haven't heard that in who knows how long. It's one of the oldest. Rough story.
Is it based on a real event?
Nothing worth recounting.
I'll take your word for it then. Nothing worth recounting. Okay, so there is something there, but London doesn't pay. I don't get the impression that he's trying to dissuade us from it or like thinks there's something to hide there. I get the impression he thinks it's just not important. You know what I mean? Whether or not he's right is a different question, but like I don't think he's being recalcitrant. That's the right word?
It's a good word.
But is it the correct one for this usage?
It depends on if you meant recalcitrant.
He's choosing not to speak?
A recalcitrant person might choose not to speak.
Ah! Hey, did you or your pals in OC ever hear about some kind of blue blood hunter?
Like a bounty hunter?
Or huntsman, maybe?
Where'd you hear that?
Sosuke thinks he might have overheard talk of something like that while he was in captivity. Does it mean anything?
Nope.
I don't like the hesitation there, Detective.
Just an urban legend.
I would have said the same thing about Unlisted before this afternoon, and yet.
Fair enough. If you see a huntsman and live to tell the tale, I'll buy you as many lotto tickets as you want. But what's gotten into you that you're feeling all superstitious? Guilty conscience?
You mean about working with the mafia? A psychologist would call that projecting.
Ouch.
I also like London gives as good as he gets, but he also he takes it well, right?
Yeah.
Like he knows. He has no illusions about what he does. He's like, yeah, fair point. Too far?
Nah. Didn't feel a thing.
I don't know why I asked, really. Guess I've just had an odd feeling all day.
Like deja vu. You been here before?
No, I hate that feeling. So whatever the opposite of that would be. Isn't that jamais vu?
Mm-hmm. The unnerving certainty that you're in uncharted waters.
That's not what jamais vu is, but sure.
Scary stuff.
but I see what they mean in this case. I was just being fancy. Morgan's apartment. I really should get this put back together. Then it'd be a completement.
Togetherment.
Togetherment! Shit, that's better. Icaria, blue blood, Megs, orcas, dirty cops and criminal informants. Lines drawn back and forth across the battlefield like a spider's suspension bridge. Dizzying in its complexity, frail along any given strand, but one wrong move and you're completely ensnared. Priorities. The Icaria don't care about who tore through Creek's gang, but they would prefer Sosuke doesn't spend life in prison for killing a cop. The Blue Bloods want to tear Sosuke's throat out, but if Han's taken at her word, they're settling for 5 counts of murder. Can I take Han at her word? Or is she young blood like Creek? Or is she with the old guard? Could I have asked London that? If I had, could I have trusted his answer? Because it turns out Kasim London is much, much harder to read than I anticipated. And I can't even trust my client to act in his own self-interest. The man's a bodyguard by trade and a zealot for his house. The trial starts tomorrow. Do I still need more information? Is there time to find it? What if I read this Jack Daniels bottle? No, what I need right now is a nightcap. If I can't fall asleep, then I'll know I'm in trouble. Until then, I guess sleep will have to wait. It's unlocked.
Who's this?
I don't know. It's not Makoto, because they're not wearing this weird mishmash of outfits. I don't know, take a stab in the dark and commit to it.
Pardon me for dropping in at such a late hour, Counselor Morgan.
Standing there in my doorway, she cut through the light like a blade of spilt ink. But twice as sharp, and not nearly as familiar.
We're doing noir now.
I was going to say.
We're doing noir.
Did someone call Raymond Chandler for this one?
Yeah.
What is going on here? Oh, wait, we are doing noir because it's all black and white now.
Noir.
We are doing noir now. It is outside of normal consultation hours, miss. She purses her lips, like lily petals shying away from the moonlight. What's a smirk by any other name? God damn, someone wanted to flex their noir muscles.
Please call me Mireille.
Any last name, Mireille? The question floats in the air like curling cigarette smoke. I could tell she was used to the smell.
I'll leave that up to your imagination.
Self-assured and unapologetic, the unspoken family name loud as a signature, written in blood. You're from House Icaria.
Might I step inside?
She doesn't confirm it. That is just an assumption Morgan has made. I want to point that out.
Yep.
She blinks. Her head turns a millimeter. A forked tongue testing the temperature of the air.
Do Mafia work on vampire rules? If you say no, can they not come in?
She wasn't asking for permission. I don't know, but it's super helpful it worked that way in Buffy. Just you? What about your friends in the hallway? She raises an eyebrow but keeps staring at the floor. She's surprised at my perception of the unseen threat. But not quite impressed.
I don't think they need to join us, do you?
She was the kind of woman to make you remember. Smoking could kill. God damn! I'm gonna be honest. I read my first Chandler novel like
She's Eno.
Oh my god, she's Eno. She is Eno. Who is Shino Ringo? Shino Ringo.
Yeah. It's the glasses and the vaguely round hairstyle mostly.
Yes. Now she just whips out a guitar. What was I saying? I read my first Chandler. I read The Big Sleep, and like it wasn't a good mystery, but god damn were the vibes on point. like that clearly subsisted on vibes and vibes alone, and the vibes were delicious enough for like a 5-course meal. I don't know. You said what? Lady in the Lake is worth reading?
Yeah, that's one of his, right?
Yeah, maybe I'll read that one next then.
I feel like we have it, but it's probably in a box in storage, and/or it got soaked with water and destroyed. So your mileage may vary.
Next time I have to, because I'm gonna have to go through all of our stuff pretty soon. So, but anyway, how can I be of service, Mireille? Mireille, Ikari. Okay, good. Okay, good. So they don't claim. She doesn't claim it's Ikari. She just kind of like. Mireille Ikaria? Occupation representative, like sipping alcohol, rubbing alcohol, arachnids.
Sipping alcohol and rubbing alcohol?
Dislikes sunrises, black tea, and photographers. I love all of those things. Favorite smell, dojo floors. Best at making use of people. Worst at hiding my distaste. Thanks for your input, Mireille. You have to remember, for all of these, at some point Sarah got a hold of them and was like, hey, so what do you... How can I be of service, Mireille?
You're already being quite accommodating, both to me and my family's interests.
I love her smoking fur collar, or her digital smoking fur collar.
Yeah.
With also like the kind of glitch. Gosh darn. Is that a cloud of smoke around her neck, or is that like a fur? It's not a fur collar because you can see the hair underneath it. What's going on? What is that just meant to be like the smoke of her cigarette? Because that's already a part of the image.
And it's clearly digital.
It's clearly digital. So like, what is it, like a fur ruffle that is digital and her hair just gets to hang? All right, whatever.
And it looks like digital smoke to me.
All right.
I came here tonight to be of service to you. I understand that you're somewhat new to this underworld of ours.
I am grateful for the offer, Mireille, but inexperienced as I am, I've gathered that House Ikaria didn't come into its fortune by being generous.
Would you like to know how House Ikaria did come into its fortune?
I know you operate a lending corporation with a significantly diversified portfolio.
Yes, the good old IFG, the public face of the Ikaria criminal empire, clean-shaven as it's become.
She's also never claimed to be working on how... Like, I'm going to keep track of that during this scene, just in case, because like I'm always aware for that kind of thing, but she has never once claimed or agreed with Morgan's supposition that she is from House Ikaria.
And?
I know you founded a pharmaceutical company and profited immensely when it went public.
And before that?
I know your family became nobility during the years of civil unrest. No doubt by being well-positioned when the time came to re-privatize our nation's industries.
Yes, and before that?
I know that you slaughtered the Blue Bloods 30 years ago.
Very good, Counselor Morgan. You've acclimated to our waters remarkably fast.
What I don't know is why Makoto Ikaria has been the target of multiple kidnapping attempts over the past year.
You can't fathom a guess as to why the Blue Bloods might want to ransom the family's heir.
Is it just a tit-for-tat thing? You killed all of our young, so we'll kill your young?
It'd be weird to wait 30 years.
Would it be? Revenge is a dish best served cold.
They surely have many more people that could be killed than just Makoto, and have had plenty of time to do it.
But like there is a version of this where it is sending a message, right? Like, we spent our time, we licked our wounds, we rebuilt, and now we're going to do to you what you did to us. That's the only guess I can make. It strikes me as, shallow. Nothing more dangerous than waters you don't know the depth of.
As you said, 30 years ago, the Ikaria cartel, an unrecognizable band of brutes and drug smugglers compared to today, massacred the respectable Blue Bloods and left their geriatric leadership to die on the vine. But we thrust the knife much deeper than that.
You went after their heirs.
And their entire future. Are you familiar with genetic factor authentication?
Using DNA as a password?
Blood, specifically. Easier than memorizing a string 3 billion characters long.
But GFA has fallen out of favor, hasn't it? GFA, Genetic Factor Authentication, is a password security system wherein a live blood sample is provided in combination with the username and passkey in order to complete verification. GFA can only be conducted in person with the sample acquired by a trained on-site professional. Because of the physical realities of the verification process itself, GFA is considered cryptographically secure. It cannot be bypassed or hacked in any traditional sense. While some security algorithms and cryptographic algorithms incorporate biological elements in one or more ways, GFA, as it was originally developed, has gone largely unadopted throughout the business world. Few corporations are interested in tying information or resources to specific bloodlines as opposed to specific groups, and the verification process itself is inconvenient for most, while totally unusable for anyone working remotely. GFA is still offered, however, at some of the most prestigious and secure banks in the world, and families with particularly long lineages have been known to favor GFA for what are effectively symbolic reasons. Because GFA remains accessible to any past or future offspring of the initial registries, it is sometimes offered as a wedding or baby shower gift for couples intending to set up trusts. Users also frequently search for how to change lost password fast. Nice.
Get different blood.
Get different blood. That's interesting, the way that works. So, in the setting, the way it works is tied to, like, a bloodline. It is tied to bloodline. So, someone who's related to you, presumably, like, they said to, like, future generations. I don't know how long that stays true for.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's interesting. Okay.
Presumably your identical twin would be able to also
Exactly. I was
access it.
thinking, like, and had we tossed about cloning in this setting yet?
I don't recall.
I don't recall. Man, sure would be a shame if there was a whole industry who was currently filling human-like bodies with the same type of blood and could actually do that. Because didn't we learn last episode that they like physically like install, they flush and then recolor and install the blood in androids, right? And it's all coming from the same pool. I wonder if that's going to be a thing at some point.
I don't know.
Does that mean if one android can access a GFA, all androids can? That's not going to be relevant in this case. It will be relevant in case 4. No, that's a case 5 twist. We'll see you in episode 5 for that one. But GFA has fallen out of favor, hasn't it?
The Blue Bloods made ample use of it back then.
A bad bet.
They already had all their offshore accounts, business titles, property deeds.
Okay, so what they're getting at is by systematically culling every single one of their offspring, not only does it not only is it like a huge fuck you, it also has the practical effect of removing their ability to access all of these funds and resources locked behind specifically their bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
And presumably the ones that are left are too old to have any more children at this point. So that's kind of like effectively made it so that no one will be able to access those funds after the last of them has died. Which I guess is why the fairy tale of the mythical heir stashed overseas coming back has so much cultural cachet, because that would mean not only do they come back and step in to run the thing, but they come back and step in and have access to everything that is supposedly going to be locked away from the future.
This all falls apart if MFA reset exists, which you'd think it definitely would.
I mean, you think it would, but also... actually, I don't know. Like, if you're an underground organization, do you generally?
No, but I mean for GFA.
Yeah. Like, you gotta have a multi-factor way to reset those.
It's already multi-factor authentication, but like, generally, you have the ability to reset multi-factor authentication. Well, like, it'd be bizarre to set it up so that you can only do it this one way and then lock yourself out forever, and then do that for things containing massive amounts of assets.
I think the idea is that how would you ever change your own bloodline, right? Like, I'm not saying there aren't ways to do it. I'm saying, like, the idea of having to reset your own lock tuned to your bloodline, the only, like... There's no reason to want that, because your blood isn't changing, and the only thing that can do is introduce a vulnerability for literally anyone else to get in on it. Except in the case where they kill literally all of your offspring, which is what they did here. It's not something, that's not a factor of it you'd ever want to reset.
No, I think it's simpler than that. You can decide whether your phone is requiring SMS message 2FA or authenticator app 2FA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, There's multiple methods, and you can add or remove them as needed for your security needs. Like, why would we lose that in this future?
I
If that's
see.
just already a thing that exists everywhere. It would make everything hellishly more inconvenient and harder.
So you're saying, why isn't there a way for them to then reset these?
Yeah, or even simpler. Why can't they just move them out of that as accounts and put them in different ones now?
Well, I wonder if maybe we're jumping the gun on this one.
Maybe.
Maybe she'll explain why.
The Blue Bloods thought that they had already won, that they were establishing a dynasty.
Oh, you know what? I bet it's not that simple. When you're talking about establishing the kind of wealth of a dynasty, it's not as simple as I need to flip one account.
Mm-hmm.
You've been doing this for how many different things all down the line for how many years? Even if there is a theoretical list of all the things somewhere, there's no way you're going through all those one by one by one by one, resetting everything at that point. That
No, I don't agree. If there's so many things they couldn't do that, then there's so many things they wouldn't be able to know what they had or access the assets.
Do you believe that every single billionaire knows every single one of their own assets?
Absolutely not, but I believe they have accountants whose job is to do that for them.
Okay, that's fair.
So, as they made their political marriages, they bound their alliances and fortunes in literal blood. GFA was both a financial and symbolic laundering of the Blue Bloods' past. Their children, now married, clean-cut, and perfectly respectable, would prosper aside wealth no longer tainted by ill-gotten gains. So, that GFA registry became the Icaria's checklist. We went through and crossed out anyone that could have accessed those funds.
Okay, this is the first time she has affirmatively said something.
We.
Yes, the we is important. This is the first time she has... It doesn't say she's an Icaria, it says she was involved with the crossing out. But I'm willing to bet that maybe I'm barking up a wrong tree at this point, right?
Now all of it sits untouchable overseas in encrypted digital warehouses in some of the oldest, most austere banks in the world, collecting interest that will never be claimed. Does that answer your question as to why they'd target Makoto?
No. No. And you know it doesn't. Because if they thought they could lock you out of your coffers by killing Makoto, they wouldn't be trying to take him alive.
You're paying attention. I like that. We don't use GFA, and Makoto is the heir to House Icaria, to the Icaria Financial Group. He'd never be tied to our legitimate banking information.
What books does... Oh, wait, we can read those.
Can we?
Yes, those are all legible. Hold on. Do you want to get up there and read those, and you can parrot them back to me. I'll read them into the mic. 3 of them are not legible to Vivian on the screen there. I'll look in post to see if I can get any of those zoomed in or something, but no, those are 100% legible, intentionally left there in the background for us to see. If they didn't want us to read them, they would have made them blurry. And they chose not to, so I'm going to go after it. Okay, now she's saying our legitimate banking information. Okay. Why not? What if he wants to buy a lollipop?
A lollipop would be provided for him. The family's black market proceeds and its white market holdings must never mix.
You divided your house right down the middle. Pardon the expression, but how can you stand?
Atop the backs of many.
And you all take this division that seriously.
Deadly seriously, that is our family's rule dating back centuries. Either you serve the house or you serve its interests. Never both.
Interesting. Okay. So you're assigned to either the criminal organization, what's registered as the IFG, or to managing the family's legitimate business holdings like Renogen. But that means you...
are nearly as much of an outsider to the Icaria Financial Group as you are.
Nearly is doing a lot of work there. Who do you answer to then? Who controls the Icaria's legitimate empire?
Until Makoto marries, his mother.
Are you his mother? And I take it Makoto isn't, solely responsible for the house's affairs at his age.
Makoto wields great authority as the heir, but yes, the house is led by his father Raphael, and more directly by his grandfather, our patriarch Daisuke Ikaria.
Oh shit, that was the one that we saw coming out. Jesus Christ. I see. Are you his mother then? Is that who she is? Or is that just a... I don't know, I might be just connecting dots that don't need to be connected, but
She said she was an outsider to the financial group.
yeah, but the financial group was the illegitimate part, right?
So then Makoto is in charge
Of the legitimate
stuff?
Yes, because remember, the black market and the white market parts of the family shall never touch. So, Makoto has to have his nose clean the entire time, because he's part of the he's going to be running the legitimate half. But that puts me back where I started. The Blue Bloods want to hold Makoto hostage to gain leverage on the likes of Daisuke.
How can I put this? Had things gone even slightly different 30 years ago, the Blue Bloods would be the ones shaking hands with politicians, marrying ambassadors, and sitting in boardrooms. Some of them believe it can still be so, if the right match were made.
Wait. They're trying to capture Makoto to rizz him up? What? They want to marry into House Ikaria? But Makoto's and all the real Blue Bloods are older than...
They'd find an age-appropriate adoption. You're missing the point. They need Makoto alive and well to negotiate that kind of reversal of fortune.
So they've been trying to capture him for the past year. But every Blue Blood I met today seemed to care a lot more about getting revenge for their dead men than kidnapping a preteen.
How many of them do you think Sosuke's cut down in the last year he's spent repelling their attempts?
Is that a source of internal conflict? If the old guard are throwing young bloods into an Ikaria shredder en masse, trying to capture Makoto just to elevate themselves. I suppose that all might total up to enough motivation for them to torture Sosuke, yeah.
I had heard Sosuke was wounded. No one informed me that he had been tortured.
You know him, I take it?
As you've gathered, Sosuke deals in matters unrelated to my side of the family. But he is still family. Speaking of my side, I have a duty as representative of my wing of the house to stress that we do not want this trial to be prolonged.
So the bean counters don't care for the extra attention. That makes sense. Do you care about the outcome?
A win is always preferable,
but not a necessity. Makoto Ikaria hired me to prove Sosuke's innocence. If he's the one signing the checks...
Did he say why he hired you? He hired you for 2 reasons. Reason 1, his options are limited. More limited than he suggested, no doubt, to keep a strong front. The entire house is currently being audited by the state. Our usual legions of lawyers and accountants are already billing hours as fast as they can, so he wouldn't have his pick of the litter.
So one half of the family can't talk business at the dinner table with the other half, but you share a pool of lawyers?
Lawyers can be trusted to be discreet, can they not?
Yeah, we can read between the lines.
So then you'll understand reason 2. Whatever lawyer he did find through the Ikaria's usual connections would, like me, do whatever's best for the house as a whole.
And not what is best for Sosuke. Ah. Makoto doesn't want Sosuke to fall on the sword here, because Makoto really likes Sosuke.
And the rest of the house,
absolutely
would be fine with that, probably.
Yeah.
Fight the trial, but
if he
more than anything else, keep it tidy.
Yes.
I'll make an amendment. 3 reasons. Makoto know that if he didn't assign him any lawyer, Sosuke would just stay silent as the state dragged him off to be chained, rather than inconvenience the house any further.
Well, yeah. I've known Sosuke for less than a day, and even I can tell he's never seen a cross he wouldn't jump at the opportunity to bear. That explains why Makoto would hire someone without connections to the Ikaria. You slow rolling another addendum that'll clear up why on earth my name came across his desk? Littered with crayons and times tables, as I'm sure it was.
I hope I've been able to elucidate matters for you, Counselor Morgan.
Masterfully subtle way to say we're done talking. Notice that you didn't say why the name came across, though.
Now I might ask you a small favor in return. Pass this message to Sosuke. If you see a way out, take it.
Do you understand what you're asking him to do? Even if Sosuke took a plea bargain, even if I somehow got the other charges reduced to manslaughter, self-defense, the state thinks he killed a cop.
The message is for Sosuke, not you. Your interpretation of it is irrelevant.
End of conversation. As she reaches the exit, she turns back to look at me, lingering in the doorway like the warm buzz of a strong, dark cocktail.
But your assessment is correct. If this were just 4 dead blue bloods, our dim little underworld could balance out the ledger unassisted. If that cop hadn't shown up last night...
Do you know something about the late Officer Chopin?
City in mourning after death of city councilman's beloved adoptive son in the line of duty. All I know is that his funeral dirge will make those 4 boys' deaths sound like a disinterested sigh. By the way, I must admit you have a lovely apartment, Counselor.
Changing subjects as subtly as a bullet train hopping its tracks.
Quite spacious for a defense attorney.
Yeah, place wouldn't sell after the tram route got diverted. I negotiated down the rent and installed all the soundproofing myself.
Can't open the windows without being treated to the sounds of the city, then.
There's always a cost.
That's one mystery solved, then, isn't it? Enjoy the rest of your quiet evening, Counselor.
The door glides to a close behind her, easy as a question left unasked. I'm left here hanging on a single-held breath of stillness, listening as the deafened thud of her honor guard's implied violence stomps down the hallway behind her. I was still leaned back in my chair, staring holes into my ceiling, long after the scent of her expensive tobacco had faded into null. Savoring it while it lasted was beyond me at the moment. My attention was elsewhere. This case is knotted and twisted like a gnarled oak. Just when I think I've found my rhythm, the blade runs dull. Carving is an exercise in patience and vision. You need to start with a clear picture of what you want. I want some answers. But for now, I will sleep. Tomorrow in court, I'll just have to keep whittling away at the wood until I fashion something halfway usable. You know what? Now that we've kind of compared her to Chandler, I kind of see a little bit of what the fuck is his name?
I don't remember.
Oh God, what is the guy's name? We know the fucking Marlowe.
Oh, yes.
Marlowe, right? Philip Marlowe. Philip Marlowe, notably, isn't one that seems really interested in women. They kind of throw themselves at him, and he just takes it or leaves it as his day goes about. He seems more interested in the case, and I think that's how Morgan's sexuality works.
Except Morgan is the one interested in creating the case.
Right, exactly. People throw themselves at her, and it's like, okay, whatever. But she is more interested in the case and the work. And, well, if that doesn't work, I guess I'll use a chainsaw. Ooh. What's this?
I don't know.
Hey, cool kid. Yes, you, trying to look all stoic, staring out the window. Little late to try and look detached after that thing you pulled the other day. So that wasn't a joke. Making that announcement in front of the class. You trying to start a detective club or something? What mysteries? Disappearing cleaning supplies? Books not getting returned to the library? Sounds lame. Well, not like that's your fault. Everything's lame. Good luck finding members. Everyone around here already knows what they're going to do after school. And tomorrow. And next year. They're all staring down the barrel of a lucrative career in telling other companies how to provide web services or whatever the hell this school is supposed to train us for. A lawyer? If you say so, cool kid. The Megs will probably have robots doing that by the time you graduate, but sure. Law school's supposed to be hard to get into. You'll need a record that doesn't suck. Getting the club you started shut down because you couldn't get anyone to join probably won't help. Wow, so confident. You really are a cool kid. What the hell, Morgan? Who was that? Why are we getting poignant flashbacks of you being a fucking teenager getting teased by other girls in your class? What?
Morgan, please, this is...
Hold still and relax. This will be over soon.
I thought you were joking about the makeup.
Of course I wasn't joking. Appearance is like a really big part of like especially getting a jury to side with you.
I used to have to do copies at a print shop for a let's say not top tier personal injury attorney. And when doing the printing for his cases, would frequently request, no, print it again, make it look gruesome. Like,
wait, what?
Because it had like the files would have like, oh, Exhibit A, Exhibit B, photos of the injuries from this
Yep.
case or whatever.
Print it again
like,
and make it look gruesome?
Yeah, it's like, oh, no. You got to like print it darker, make the colors really pop so they can see the blood and the bruising and so on. You got to make it look gruesome because if it doesn't look right, then they're not going to bite. They're not going to jump at my case.
God damn. Oh, man.
He was an interesting guy. I don't know if he retired or moved away or what, but he eventually like stopped. And when he did, he gave as gifts, parting gifts, branded mugs of him only, of his law office to only the few employees that he personally liked and not the other ones who he regularly worked with. I don't think so. I think it got broken.
No! Oh, right. I remember that one now.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, that was
and the mug
wonderful.
somehow had like 8 different fonts on it despite having 4 lines of text.
Oh, no. Oh, man. Anyway. You out there doing the hard work, I guess. I don't know where we go.
Living that Better Call Saul life before Better Call Saul.
Yep. A face like yours is invaluable in the courtroom. Now, let me just add a little bit of eyeshadow.
And you think covering me in concealer and blush and applying eyeliner will help me appeal to what demographic exactly?
You know the names of all this stuff?
I'm a modern man. I know the names of many things, including makeup. Is that your eyebrow gel?
Yes.
It's cakey.
Do you want to do the rest?
I think some of the jury might find that his wounds make him look rugged. And furthermore, from an aesthetic perspective, leaving some of his buttons undone will.
This is the first... Sarah, oh you precious bean. Is Sarah a bean?
I think so.
I think Sarah's a bean.
Excuse me?
You're clearly a very devoted martial artist, Sosuke. You should be proud to display your well-defined collarbones and the fruit of your efforts.
Just hold still. Appearances matter in the courtroom. 95% of defendants who are ever seen in prison at grab at the trial. 95% of defendants who are ever seen in prison garb at the trial are found guilty.
I don't doubt your tactics work, Morgan.
My tactics included getting your suit pressed. Do you want me to wrinkle it back up?
I just find them unpalatable. Trying to get this jury, these civilians, to pity me is shameful.
You're worried about honor. Really? You're a cybernetic ninja, Sosuke. Don't be a stereotype.
Don't call other people stereotypes.
He's right, Adonai. And he's more of a cybernetic samurai, since he's sworn himself to a wealthy land-owning noble.
I am confused, Sosuke. Is it honorable how your family makes their money? Or made their money?
I'm not talking about morality, I'm talking about having principles. Yes, they're subjective, and yes, they can be hypocritical, but the further you stray from the common path, the more you need them.
That's actually a pretty healthy way of, like, I know as someone who studied philosophy, it's sometimes as easy to get caught up in all these tangled knots and stuff and, like, work yourself into a frenzy over contradictions and stuff. Whereas, for just living your life, it really is important to have just some things that you stick to.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's not to say there aren't challenges or reasons you shouldn't rethink them, but it's good to have some principles that you live by.
I mean, what about her? What would Sarah be like if she didn't have tenets to guide her programming?
Mostly the same, actually.
Tenets. We already read all of this. Do we want to reread it? It might be helpful for this. A programming framework underlying the development of modern automated dependent software. All contemporary supported programming languages are built upon the tenet system, allowing users to designate a series of inviolable priorities for their code to pursue. Once added to a program, a tenet cannot be circumvented under any traditional circumstances. And even then, only if a tenet with a higher weight supersedes it. Tenets were first adopted in the field of computer science as a trio, 3 priorities that govern how preserving human life, obeying human commands, and avoiding damage to human property should be prioritized. Since then, the number of supported tenets has ballooned to 113, most of them requested by lobbyists in the insurance industry looking to better define relative financial value. Tenets are well known for increasing the decision time lag on programs. This, combined with their engineered inflexibility, has made it such that most programmers aim for a tenet limit below 30. Originally, the one tenet that could not be removed from any program was tenet safety 0, aka tenet 0 or tenet 1. God, that annoys me. Said tenet...
Right? Everything should be 0 indexed.
Said tenet dictated that the following program could not produce outcomes that would result in harm to a living person. After the decision reached in People v. Volstance defense contractors, and the resulting widespread adoption of automated dependence in the military and security sectors, this is no longer required, though tenet 0 may still be added to particularly benign or mundane software as a good luck charm, superstitious ritual, or a joke. Okay, yeah, that was the same. I can only imagine what she would be like.
It's very different reading this now versus last time after my company at my day job has adopted so much AI stuff and very quickly going from like, this is ridiculous far future sci-fi thing, this Tenet stuff, and then being like, like
yeah, I've had you've showed me some of how that's been, and it's been interesting.
Yeah,
it's been interesting.
Weird.
I should clarify, you don't work for an AI company.
Yep.
Right. Some of the people writing the programs there are choosing to use AI tools to do it, and those have consequences.
Yep.
But some people, believe it or not, enjoy their freedoms.
Adrift
Oi! Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Adrift in the middle of the ocean, you're free to go in whatever direction you want, but without a compass, you'll just die of exposure.
Oi! If you only ever follow exactly what the compass says, you'll sail north until you freeze to death.
The point is, if you have a compass, you know which direction north is.
Fortunate for us all, then, the state is a 1,000,000 megawatt North Star pointing towards complacency at all times.
And the media is like the wind. And without wind, you'll get stuck in the tide.
It was a nice try, Sarah. Forget it. Do whatever you want with your brushes, woman.
And you're pouting again. Great. Sarah, just keep him talking.
What? If I'm talking, how will you...
Trust me, I've done more delicate work before. Sarah, small talk.
Gladly, Adonai. Sosuke, do you happen to have any tattoos?
Are the jury going to ask about that or something?
They might.
No. Well, yes, as a matter of fact, I do have a tattoo, a komainu on my back.
Komainu, a guardian dog.
Oh, like the Shisa? Is that right? Is that the same or similar?
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
You have a tattoo of a dog? Well, I mean, they're more lion-like, right?
It's a fierce guardian deity.
Like a Labrador, or...
Like a great, fierce, A big dog. Big woman. Big.
And I wonder if they're different from Shisa. I think might be specifically Okinawan. Let me see about. Yeah, no, they are different. I think they're related because you see statues of both of them at Shinto shrines and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Shisa are specifically from Okinawan mythology and aren't necessarily at the I think that is just my confusion. But yes, Komainu are the ones that you see the two of guarding the entrance to shrines.
Perhaps you could have changed it to some other design, say, like a dragon.
All caps, just so we know what's happening here.
I feel like the name drop quotient has gone way up this episode.
But it makes sense for Sarah to be doing it. She's got all... Oh my god, I just snorted. Holy shit, I just snorted.
You just snort laughed.
Holy shit. I think I've maybe done that one other time on this channel. I'm not really a snort laugher, so whenever it happens, it's always like, wow. You gotta savor those moments. Man. So that's what that's like. That was really uncomfortable. You know why I don't snort laugh?
Because of your deviated septum?
Yeah, because my nose is fucked up beyond belief. So whenever it happens, it's always like, oh wow, a rare treasure of having a clear nasal pathway. I can snort on purpose. I just don't snort laugh. God. Beautiful. Someone into ASMR is going to have that on repeat.
There's no switching.
The buyer's remorse must be unbearable.
There's no buyer's remorse.
Makeup. Lift your chin, please.
You really think they'll feel bad for me because of some cuts and scrapes?
You're not good at listening to instructions, are you? The prosecution has to get 12 strangers to agree that you killed 5 men. Each charge has to be unanimous, a perfect score. So any chip damage we can do, any doubt we can sow, we take it. And any advantage we're given, we make full use of it.
But the advantage you're talking about is my face.
You're really not used to this kind of attention, Sasuke?
Look, it may be true that at times some women have expressed.
And men, no doubt.
All I'm saying is there's a difference between knowing your strengths and powdering up like this.
Pretend it's war paint.
Is that how you see it?
No, but I'm a grown-up. Sarah discreetly paying tribute to the Illuminati with her hand pose. Oh, that's a sweet smile.
Thank you for entertaining my questions last night, Sasuke.
Did she ask you about your dimensions?
The subject might have come up.
She's a talkative one, isn't she?
Sorry if she kept you up all night.
No, she's no trouble, just curious. Reminds me of... We discussed history.
Oh, well, then she must have put you right to sleep.
I don't know, it was his choice of subject.
So you read history, Sosuke? Here I assumed you spent all your free time frowning in corners of rooms with your arms crossed.
We talked about the Roman Empire for your information.
So we know which... Every guy upon reaching a certain age has to pick which period of history it's going to be. Roman Empire, or World War II, or Crusades, depending on what level of yikes.
There's a lot of Civil War era folks around here.
Civil War.
Not that we're in the South, it's just people legit interested in the Civil War. I have to stress that. Interested in the Civil War in the normal way, not in the flying the Confederate flag way.
in the reenacting Sherman's March way.
In which, I don't know, I like, it's not my cup of tea, but fine. You know what? I'm not saying don't have an interest in a period of history. If they don't fly the Confederate flag, I don't care. Oh, did you get his line?
No. And criminal empires?
Nothing too detailed, I hope.
But Sasuke, I still don't understand. What did you mean when you said criminal organizations used to be structured differently?
Only that the old ways don't fit in our new 21st century world.
Old ways?
Well,
He's talking about race, Sarah.
Race? I don't understand. I would come in first, though.
Well, that's to be expected. After all, you share 98% of your components with a washing machine.
That is an untrue and unflattering comparison.
Maybe you do get it.
Look, Sarah. Names like Mafia, Gokudo, Sanhehui, they all came from different cultures, but they all refer to a kind of path. An outsider's path and the pride that comes with living by your own set of rules. Those were the first criminal organizations, underground guilds, lending systems, militias, secret societies.
Oh, sure. They were basically just big friendly charities.
Then the world got smaller, and people started moving around, and the mafia changed. It became a way for immigrants to band together to have some kind of power in places that wouldn't give them a chance at anything remotely respectable.
This is a very romantic way of looking at it, but he's also not wrong. right? Like, it's definitely some choice in what parts of it you're emphasizing. But, you know, you're still trying to gussy up criminal organizations, right?
Yep. But the world kept getting smaller and more complex, and eventually that kind of community couldn't form, let alone survive.
Why?
Woke 2.
Woke? But we're already on Woke 5 by now.
Not enough shared experiences.
Shared experiences, I see.
Fancy way of saying the internet came along.
Well, yes, technology negates the physical distance between people.
Yeah, tell that to every hug-starved transbian on the internet. I know you're out there. I see you on my blue sky feed. You think being a lesbian doesn't make it less lonely, but... Wow, that was rude of me, actually. Hold on, I'm going to back up on that one. Why am I coming after our audience specifically?
Why would you do this? Why would you do this?
I want to apologize to all the hug-starved transbians out there. I hope you get hugs. Hugs are nice. And in the meantime, there's nothing wrong with buying a hug pillow. I own one. They're great.
True.
And it's not the same, but it still gives you like the physical sensation of holding something like that still does have like a remarkable actual physical and physiological effect on you. So, or a weighted blanket, those also work.
Or a blahai.
There. Did I work my way back into the good graces by giving practical advice? Have I gotten there? Weighted blankets, hug pillows, they work miracles.
IKEA sharks.
And IKEA sharks, but you already have one of those. Damn it! I went back. I'm losing them.
When you spend most of your life online, you end up with more in common with people on the other side of the planet than your own neighbors. Just because of where your recommendations take you.
So the immigrant experience disappeared?
Fractured, more like, cracked into a million shards with a hammer, while generational or economic experiences got cemented.
Interesting.
The world is more diverse and varied than it's ever been in every sense, except economically.
Wealth inequality is at historical highs.
As it has been every year for...
Since before I was born.
To answer your question, Sarah, that's what binds the members of a criminal organization to one another, their socioeconomic status. House Icaria is at the top, the blue bloods lie below us. Within each organization, wealth is concentrated among the leadership, of course, but each mafia exists in entirely different strata.
I see. I've also read about an organization called the Rust being active here in the city. Are they in the poverty class then?
The Rust? I'd put them in the anarchy class. Glowing tattoos and spiked hair, chrome biceps and sharpened teeth. The blue bloods, for all their faults, can put on a tie and go to work, but I can't see the Rust experiencing any kind of social mobility.
Careful, Sosuke, if the Rust heard you being that classist.
The Rust wouldn't care about anything I said or who I stand with. They don't need any excuse to start ripping open modders and grabbing whatever they can.
Things like that happen in this city?
Only in the shadows, Sarah. Nowhere you'd ever find yourself.
Aww. Quick, take me away, Sosuke. Let's run away from here.
Finally run out of steam?
On to the grim business, then. How'd things go with your investigation? That bad, was it?
Nonsense! It was pretty bad. With what I've seen so far, there's no one else who could have killed Chopin. Even if I manage to pick apart all the evidence for the pod's deaths, I've got a police officer who will swear on the stand that he arrested Sosuke, standing over his partner's dead body.
What's it going to look like in there?
You've never been inside of a courtroom.
Never as a defendant. I'm just wondering how many cops I should expect.
In the gallery, a sea of blue. Cheap intimidation tactics.
Yes, but I can't fault them for that. We'd line up much the same for one of ours.
You say that, and yet I don't see any other Ikaria around. It's because you're not dead.
This is a completely different scenario, and the house can't afford to appear beside a cop killer when they're being audited by the state.
How understanding of you.
I don't know. I think Sosuke is sad that his friends haven't shown up.
Good catch.
Sarah's been practicing social cues.
I've been practicing social cues by using my social cue card system. I just hold up the faces to whatever their expressions they're making, and then I can figure out what they say. I've really been getting a lot of use out of pissed off at me for holding up a cue card to their face. You were hired by Makoto of Hasakaria, weren't you, Adenai? Surely he would want to be in attendance.
Don't be absurd. Makoto shouldn't be transported anywhere without a full security team. Besides which, he shouldn't be put through the long elevator ride to this 48th floor just for my sake.
What is so bad about an elevator ride?
Is he claustrophobic?
No. That is, yes, but you cannot tell anyone, understand?
Did we get hints of that?
I don't think so.
Trying to like maybe that's why Sosuke was so quick to get him out of the elevator rather than
like, oh shit, he's just gonna have a panic attack in there.
Yeah. So that explains maybe that explains why he picked that option and why they knew he would pick that option.
Could be.
Maybe it was never really a 50-50. Who the hell would I tell that to?
Right.
Look, it's illegal to stream trial proceedings under most circumstances, but I'm sure House Ikaria doesn't mind paying a fine. They'll be watching from somewhere in the courtroom.
That would be a waste of the house's coin.
Dude, there's a difference between having honor and seeing putting yourself down as the highest possible value you could give to someone. Fucking have some idea of your own self-worth, man.
But I suppose they might consider keeping an eye on the case's progression.
As will the Blue Bloods, no doubt.
Adenai, I think Sosuke's spirits have rallied.
Really? How can you tell? Oh, Emma, always looking like she just woke up and has had no time to do her hair.
He lifted his gaze, and his eyes seemed brighter, as if...
Good. Now try and keep his spirits high.
How do I do that?
Think of something fun. I gotta go flirt. Be right back.
Right. Sosuke, shall we arm wrestle?
You know, that does sound very fun. Might be a little bit, unfair, but...
Yeah, for you. Oh, good morning, Morgan.
Good morning, Emma. You seem tired. Want to push this off till next week?
Actually, that sounds... Hey.
Sorry. But we'll be facing off soon enough. Why not savor the playfulness while we can?
Fair enough.
Losing sleep over this case?
Not really, no. Things look pretty cut and dry to me. What about you? You toss and turn all night before your big debut as a mob lawyer?
Booth oys! It's not as good as Booth oi! To be fair, before we saw the 012, there was no reason to read that as 011. I want to just point that out. It did just read to me as oi! Not at all. I slept like a rock.
Lucky. I mean, I've been getting good rest more or less. Just been having a lot of late nights recently.
I like how Emma's got her whole fucking thing going on, her own life. Late nights. Like, going out.
No.
Ah.
Just late night chats.
Chatting about what?
God, look at all of them. Never seen so many cops in
Are
one
you
building.
jealous? Are you jealous, Morgan?
You're not allowed to chat with women who aren't me. Where are they? I'll kill them. They'd bring a marching band into the courtroom if they could. Theater.
Right. Well, theater and trial weren't all that far apart back in ancient Greece.
Would hope we'd progressed since then.
You don't approve of the show of force, I take it.
Is it that obvious? I'd like to say this is because of who Chopin's family is, but we both know that's not what this is really about. A cop is dead. The state wants to make it clear that that isn't tolerated.
Cops volunteer to defend our laws and protect us citizens.
Volunteers don't get paid. Besides, cops, courts, the state, all they can do is enforce the laws, not defend them. Guns and arms can't defend against corrosion anyway. Rot comes from the deep.
So you'd rather the death of a police officer get the same treatment as any other citizen?
Suppose that's not possible. They get increasingly fewer chances to play the victim every year, and they never let the opportunity pass. No, I guess the best I could hope for is that the state makes the same show of force whenever any crime is committed. If they treated every death like the death of a cop, maybe I could have caught HBK by now.
You're still on that.
Of course. Shooting deaths are down, but do you know how many missing persons cases there are in this city? How many deaths get written up as mod harvesting attacks gone wrong? It's a big city, Morgan. More than enough blood running through the streets for HBK to launder their kills in.
You shouldn't joke like that.
What, you don't believe me? Just last month, missing person. The report was filed by their employer when they didn't show up to work, 7 days after they had last been seen by anyone.
Is Emma going full before we get into this, Emma has been remarkably on point with a lot of her deductions, but I'm wondering if maybe she has also developed a conspiracy brain in addition to that, and maybe she is starting to blame HBK for things that were not HBK killings.
Well, I suppose we'll find out based on Morgan's reaction.
Yeah. Let's see.
They were just some part-time worker, no close friends, no family. They went to work and they came home, paid their bills. And they disappeared, and no one cared or even noticed until their job didn't get done and those bills went unpaid. No one noticed until they stopped buying in.
God. Oh, man. That's like the most that's real life cases have happened like that, right?
Yep.
People have died in their apartments and they've had like auto pay set up on their bills and stuff. The TV was on at the time, so there was always sound going on, and no one would notice until like years down the line. God.
The body was found a full 2 weeks later. The decay was
What happened to them?
blunt force to the back of the head. Something metallic with a sharp corner, we think.
It was a roughly cubed machine from a part I pulled from a dumpster nearby. It fit snugly in my hand, and it caved through his skull like a shovel through snow.
Kicked into the bay. Might not even have been weighted down. Just thrown away like a cheap...
That's terrible. Did you find any belongings on them?
No.
So probably a mugging then, right?
No, there would have been other injuries from a struggle. And a thief who accidentally committed murder would be too panicked, too terrified to...
You know how muggers think now.
I can learn how anyone thinks. Even HBK with a robust enough profile.
Well, good luck building it all by your lonesome.
I'm not working on this by myself. Ah, sorry, right. Did you want to beg for mercy real quick before we begin?
Now, where would be the fun in that? Also, I beat you last time. I'm the one on the winning streak right now, not you.
But also, Morgan just learned that there's a task force hunting HBK. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
That's a bad thing to learn right
And
before entering court.
And not only that, that was an HBK killing.
It sure was.
So I guess I think there was an interesting version of Emma where she does get so caught in this that she does lose it to conspiracy stuff, but that's clearly not the direction we're going here. She has to be the foil, right?
Yep.
Would she be like the Moriarty in this? No. Who is she? Yeah, someone who's more familiar with Sherlock can tell me.
The courtroom gallery is quite full today. And we'll have to get to that next time on Two Queers Play of the Devil, Episode 2. His Due.
Do you like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You pointed it out, and I immediately nailed my segue. All right, everyone. Bye.
Peace.
There you go.
I almost forgot. See, I said I was on 5-second delay today.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.